Here this evening, we are going to have the Native American Heritage Month proclamation read this evening, and Councilman Lineberg is going to read that for us.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation. Whereas Native Americans are a diverse group with a rich and multifaceted system of governments, languages, religions, values, and traditions. And during the month of November, we celebrate the contributions of the first inhabitants of this great nation. And whereas we acknowledge the Hopkinsville encampment that holds 2 Cherokee leaders who died during the removal of Chief Whitepath and leader Fly Smith. And whereas the indigenous people of this land have been integral to the prosperity of our nation, their contributions to society are immeasurable, and they embody the best of American values. Despite centuries-long and ongoing erasure from history, unjust federal policies such as broken treaties, assimilation, and termination, to name a few. And whereas we reflect on the countless ways in which indigenous people have contributed to our nation's success, and we reaffirm our commitment to expanding opportunity and building an ever brighter future for all. May we embrace the diversity that strengthens us and continue striving to ensure the American dream is within reach for generations to come.
All righty, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. I'll call this meeting for City Council from November the 7th to order, and I will call for the invocation on Ward 12, Mr. Matthew Hamby.
Thank you. Tonight I get to introduce my pastor, Perry Greenway, the pastor of Little River Baptist Church in Cadiz, Kentucky. Very active in the community, activist, and become my mentor, so to speak. So I'm honored to have him with me tonight to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come before you in the name of Jesus. First, to ask for forgiveness for any and all sins that I may have committed, that my prayer and my deeds come up before you holy and acceptable in your sight. And then, oh God, I would like to pray and ask that you move in a special way in this place tonight. Touch the hearts of every last one of these people in this room, and even those who will be looking on a later date. I pray that you continue to touch the hearts of those who you allow to be in leadership position, to lead our city and our county, and to be leaders over our people, not only city leaders, but those who are spiritual leaders and community leaders. I pray that you would touch their hearts and help lead them and guide them in the way that you would have them to go, God. I ask that you allow everything done here to be done decently and in order. We ask your blessings again upon everyone in this place. We thank you for all you have done. We thank you for what you're doing even right now. But we're excited about what your word said you're going to do for all of those who are called according to your purpose. Is our prayer in Jesus' name. And the people said, amen.
Thank you. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call on the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Francis. Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Here.
Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Limburger.
Here.
Councilmember Keel.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Handy.
Present.
And we do have a quorum.
Righty. I do thank you there. Item 5, awards and recognition. I'm calling on the Hopkinsville Police Department on Chief Newby to come to the front so we can do some oaths.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor, council members, I want to introduce our 3 newest dispatchers that have just completed the academy. If you would just come up front when I call your name, Miss Amy Adams, Mr. Michael Graham, and Miss Alyssa Castellini.
Ready to write in. I, as a citizen of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and of the United States of America, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully perform to the best of your abilities the duty of dispatcher for the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
I do.
All right. All right. We get you to turn around and face the crowd for us. Right. Thank y'all. This is all you do.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. Thanks for your service. Appreciate you. Proud of you, man. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a tough job. Yeah, it is.
I couldn't do it. No way. No.
Awesome.
Next, we have our newest graduate from the Police Academy, Officer David Littleton.
I, David Littleton, as a citizen of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and of the United States of America, do solemnly swear that will faithfully perform to the best of your ability and duties of police officer for the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and that will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So help you God. Thank you. Very much.
Oh. Poke him. Look at the little man.
Man. Come here, little man.
They ain't smiling. Congratulations. Yes, sir. This is the one everybody come for.
Last but not least, we have our new Paw Patrol buddy, our newest family member at Hopkinsville PD, Bolo.
If he raises his right paw, I'm leaving.
All right.
I'm out.
I, Bobo, do solemnly swear. The citizens of
Looking up at her.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky, to serve as Paw Patrol dog in the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You part if you want.
Speech. That's great.
That's a pose. That's a pose right there.
Thank you.
Mayor, that's all we have. Thanks, sir.
Like he could take a chunk out of that. Oh, Lord Jesus. That's funny. I told Bruce, I said, he also looks like he could take a chunk out of a bad.
All righty. We will move on to item 6, public comments. If anyone would like to come up and speak at the microphone tonight, you have 3 minutes and tell us your comments to the city council.
I'm Roger Semino, Hopkinsville. I don't know if it's a comment, but I've been having a problem with my ditch for years. And I've talked to Mr. Marsh recently. I've talked to Thea West. I've talked to Mr. A. Hart. He actually got a, what's the name, Dan Harrington to come out in 2020. They said in November of that year, they was going to fix it. He didn't fix it. 2 years later, I went back down there and he said that he went out there twice. He didn't see nothing wrong. So now he tells me he's going to fix it. Then he said nothing wrong. Said he got to talk to my neighbor because she wants hers. She's got to be fixed. And that's fine. She wants it done. So then I went down here not too long ago, talked to him again. And he's telling me the only complaint they got is from 205 Oriole Drive. I live 203. And I'm just tired of everybody lying to me. Why don't somebody just come out and do something about it? They said they would in 2020, but now here's 2023 and it's just getting worse. So that's about my only say. And Mr. Moore, I've talked to him a couple of times. I say West, but the main thing you hear from the new councilman is government moves slowly. Well, it's been a long time for me. I mean, I've been through 3 city councilmen now.
Okay.
So, and Mr. Mayor, I even talked to you once.
Yes, sir, you have.
So I like somebody to come out and do something. I mean, they come out, look at it, see what it is. It's one big mud hole. You can't run a push mower through it.
Okay.
I got to weed eat it all the time. Me and that weed eater just don't get along anymore. And it's a pretty good wide place. I can't get it done. But that's what I got to say.
Can you give us that address again, sir?
203 Oriole Drive, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
All right, appreciate it.
Anyone else have public comments would like to come and speak tonight?
Good afternoon. My name is Sabrina Bell, and I'm here to discuss some things that has impacted my family, the racial disparities and unethical predatory adoption practices that has been fostered within the Christian County court system, to include the family court. We as a community have regressed back 60 years, causing a rift and distrust among leaders. The blatant racism has helped us identify the connectors of the community and the climbers. The connectors focus on fairness, justice for all. We build consensus. While the climbers has an individualized agenda that focus on self and the identified elites with the just us mentality. There's a lot that's been going on in the newspaper to talk about the corruption within the system. It's been all over social media, and I have personally experienced it firsthand. And it has impacted my family from a mental and emotional perspective. And I am requesting that something be done. Whether that's to get a oversight committee to come in and investigate, something has to be done. It's not one form of corruption, but it's many. So we're asking for you as leaders and as our support to help us correct the racial disparities that's here in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. That's my 3 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak this evening?
I would just like to, my name is Perry Greenway, pastor of the River Baptist Church and community leader and helper. And you all don't know the calls that I get. And these are, the calls are not from any members of mine, but members of the community. And it is concerning racism and, I mean, blatant racism and all kinds of things that are happening to our young men and our young women. And we have a system that, and again, that was my daughter. And as my daughter said, it's been all over social media. It's been, you know, all over everywhere. And I'm just surprised that there's not more people here, but I'm here because we have this thing going on in our court system, things like officers don't have to show up for subpoenas. So, you know, I'm wondering if it's how many sets of laws we have. I mean, so when these people come to me in the community and ask me, do I have to show up if I get subpoenaed? Do I tell them, no, you don't have to? What do I tell them? And then if I tell them, no, you don't have to because those who are responsible for upholding the law, they don't have to. So no, you don't have to. So what would happen to those people if I told those people they did not have to go? Even your nominee who was going to be for the Republican Party, as bad as he didn't want to show up, he had to show up. And he's still having to show up. And if he has to show up, I think that those people in this community, our officers and whoever else that it is, they won't, and there's no consequences. So we want to see something done. And I think it's going to have to start with us. And like I said, I'm down here talking to you all, and I'm really ashamed that for as many people as I know that is happening to, and as many families that bombard my phone, that bombard my door and my phone on a regular basis, I am really surprised and ashamed of my own people who's not here to speak for themselves. Some may think they don't have the right to do so. But I just want to make sure that you know that we know that there is disparities, there is blatant racism going on, and we just want something done.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? You have 3 minutes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ronnie Forte, and that's my uncle and my niece. I'm one of the main ones that all this been happening to. Then with Rick Bowden, Judge Self, and Ann Brown. I was given 40 years. I was innocent of that charge. Lynn Brown said she couldn't use the co-defendants. They allowed her to use them anyway. During that process, I had 8 attorneys because I filed my own pro se motions. Mayor, I didn't talk to you, talk to the police chief about some of these issues I'm having. With that being said, the Honorable Judge Self done an honorable thing. He let me out on the COVID relief. But the trick part about it, I have 1142 motion already scheduled for November the 12th. I got it October the 13th, 14th of the previous month. Knowing I was going to win that 1142 motion. Now, during that process of me going back and forth to court through 2.5 years, they kept switching my lawyers when it's time to rule on my suppression evidentiary motions. With that being said, my lawyer didn't want to support the facts of law through my constitutional rights. After I addressed the judge, I had issues and grounds to be ruled on issues, where Rick Bowden represented me 4 times. 4 times during last year. So I knew that I was in a no-win situation. So I told my nephew, let's just go and butter down, win on appeal. Okay, so we go, they convict us. At the end of the story is, I get out on a COVID release. Mr. Bowden's back prosecutor. He represented me 4 times. He told the judge, I got on tape. All this on tape. They still do this, get away with it. Try to cover it up, hide. They can't. You got falsification of evidence. With that being said, he filed a mute motion. Honorable Judge Self granted it. Stopped me cold in my tracks, told me I can't file another motion on 1142. And now I'm back again. He's back in court. I get another bogus charge riding in the car, get pulled on the passenger. I get charged with drug based on my past, my prior felony conviction. Followed me 11 blocks, 12,700 and some yards from First and Douglas to Hayes Street. That's 11 blocks. If they found the drugs, the officer that knew me from that prior incident, Mr. Stallions, come to the car, told me, don't have to worry about nothing, they're gonna let you go. They can't charge you with this. There's something else going on, which was the drugs. Long story short, asked for tape and audio video of all this evidence. I can't get it because they know it's very damaging. But with that being said, I go to court this month the 22nd. You know what I'm saying? Show up, y'all come to court. I'm representing myself. I'm gonna have evidence. Got the evidence and suppression motion on Rick Bowden, prosecuting misconduct, and a suppression motion on the bogus charge. I'm hoping to get it dismissed. I've had 4 lawyers in this case. They're gonna lay it over and continue again. I just ask for justice. My 14 men be protected, the United States Constitution. With that being said, I'm well aware a whole lot of that going on. because I filed legal pro se motion to help people out. I'm an activist now, and I help people if I can. Can't help everybody.
Mr. Forte, 3 minutes is up.
Okay. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak at the podium? No. Anyone else would like to speak at the podium? All righty. We'll move on to item 7, mayor's comments. All righty, we had a lot of fun on trick or treating on Halloween. We had a lot of fun. Thank you to all the business owners and people that come out to participate in the trick or treating downtown. We had a lot of fun with it. Got in the Barbie box a few times with a few people for pictures. Don, we was looking for you, but we couldn't find you nowhere.
Too cold.
We'd like to say congratulations to our finance department. Government Finance Officer Association presented a certificate and awards to the finance report achievements to the City of Hopkinsville Finance Department team. Thank you. Our hats are off to you for your great job. Thank you. Our hat is off to Chief Newby for running in the other day into a house and saving a lady in a house fire. Thank you for that, Chief. On that, we now expect to see you at the turkey trot so you can trot through town. On that, on November the 23rd, restoration's online right now going on. We hope everyone comes out for the turkey trot. I also like on November the 11th, this Saturday, we're having a Veterans Day parade starting at the War Memorial Building, and we're going to go from the Memorial Building over to the Justice Center. And Councilman Marsh and Judge Gillum will be reading the proclamation. We will also have ROTC judging and stuff going on that morning. So I hope everyone comes out and pays tribute to our veterans. And I plan on, if I'm back in town, I'll be there too. But we're going to go with that. Also want everyone to remember the Alhambra Theater. It's coming up this winter events. We have a lot going on starting on the 10th day of November, going all the way through the 12th of 18, with the last movie being Elf. So everyone, please come out and support the Alhambra. We're going to have a lot of fun there with Miss Darcy-Ann Russell and Miss Prim over there. Miss Margaret's doing a lot of hard work. So we would like for everyone to come out and support the Alhambra. And that being said, we will move on to item 8, reports from officers and committee members. And item A, I would like to call Salvation Army to the stand to speak to us. Miss Lindsay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you so much for allowing us to speak to you a few minutes this evening. My name is Lieutenant Lindsay Galabise. My husband and I are the executive directors. For lack of a better phrase, we call ourselves corps officers of the Salvation Army here in Hopkinsville. Today we have with us our Director of Social Services, Alicia Barton, as well as Christopher Head, who is the Resource Development Director for the Salvation Army's Kentucky, Tennessee Divisional Headquarters based out of Louisville, Kentucky. I'd like to turn over the presentation to him for a few words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Galaby. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Head, and I am the Resource Development Director for the Salvation Army for Kentucky, Tennessee. Part of my job is to raise money for the Salvation Army. But that's not why I'm here tonight. So everybody relax. I'm not going to be asking for funding, okay? I'm actually here to do the complete opposite. I'm here to offer you our services in a more direct and beneficial way. One of the greatest lessons that we learned from COVID as a Salvation Army was that we needed stronger partnerships with the city that we served. When COVID hit, a lot of the smaller nonprofits, the mom and pops, the people who really do some of the grassroots support of the cities that we serve shut down. There was only us left standing in a lot of these communities. And the cities and us came together. And we started to form stronger partnerships. And we started to form ideas and concepts and plans that moved us forward to address not only homelessness, but feeding programs, veterans programs, jobs programs, and all sorts of other supportive services that help the homeless community, that help the less fortunate, and to help the children that are in our communities. I'm not here to harp on all of our statistics. I made some presentation packets for you guys that we'll get to you at some point. I'm not here to talk about the 49,000 meals that we served last year, the 30,000 food boxes that we give out to the residents and those in need here in Hopkinsville, the 10,000 shelter nights that we have served through our shelter here in the city. I'm actually here to talk about our LifeNav program. We, as a Salvation Army, are moving away from the model of handouts. We still want to help people. We're still going to do our Christmas program. You'll still see our red kettles on every corner here coming up in the next few weeks. We're still going to make sure that as many kids as possible in your community have Christmas and they have a present. We will still do that. We will still offer some sort of assistance, whether it's utility or rental assistance to those that need a gap fill. We're happy to do that. But as a Salvation Army, we've created two very distinct programs in the past 15 years. They're national programs. They're our Pathway of Hope program, which addresses generational poverty within a family. The longer that a child is in poverty, they're 30 times more likely to grow up to stay in poverty. It's a learned trait. We're here to try to break that. And we do that by intensive case management. We walk alongside families for not a day or a week or even a month. We walk alongside them for as long as it takes, for however long we can get them from crisis to self-sufficiency. And we do that through a variety of ways. We do that through simple things like making sure everybody has a birth certificate or a driver's license. We do that by making sure that we are able to help them assist pay off old debt. We're able to do that through finding them housing, whether it's temporary or permanent. That program is designed to solve problems. And that's what the Salvation Army model is moving to. We're solving problems. We do that with the same thing with our LifeNav program, which is probably one of our most successful programs here in Hopkinsville. The LifeNav program addresses individual homeless. So those men and women that are you see on your streets, we want to be there for, and we want to walk alongside and figure out truly what is the problem that they, or the barrier that they can't seem to overcome to get from crisis to self-sufficiency. We want to create a stronger partnership with the city. We want to be your best partner. We want to be not your expert when it comes to this subject, but your strongest advocate and your strongest supplier of services. We've had this opportunity to work in several cities across the state. If you ask the mayor of Ashland or Bowling Green or even Paducah up the road, we're having these same conversations. We're having these same, how can we solve, we'll never solve homelessness, but how can we make an impact on it? How can we truly make a dent in the number of people that are sleeping on the street, that need other services, that need work support, work training, education? How can we as a Salvation Army address that in your community? So we've had this opportunity to be part of a meeting next Tuesday with some state representation and some of your city council and county magistrates, and we look forward to that. We're excited to be a part of that conversation. We're excited to be able to offer some sort of insight into the work that we've seen across the state, that we've seen across the nation with our resources. And today we're just here to say, we're here. We've been serving the city of Hopkinsville since 1916. So we've been around for a minute. We know what we're doing for the most part, and we want to be able to make a bigger impact in your community. So I encourage you to call on us, to ask us to be part of these conversations, to see if we have some sort of education or some sort of experience that can help move you through this plan as you develop it to address homelessness, to address those less fortunate in the community. Lieutenant Galaby and Alicia are some of the top people in our organization. They know how to get state funding. They know how to get national funding. They know that we are able to help them with funding along the way. Now, it's not to say that we won't call on you to come to the table later with that. That's not why we're here tonight. We're here to be a part of your community. We're here to strive to make an impact on homelessness, and we're here to be good stewards of the resources we have here in the community. So I thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, you know where we are. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Now, on committees and guest speakers, United Way of the Pennyrile, Jake and Elwood are here.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Thank you so much for having us. We are not late for Halloween or for trick or treating. We've been dressed like this for a while now. These suits are probably getting pretty sour. They need to be dropped off at the dry cleaner. But my name is Chris Young. I'm the Public Information Officer, as most of you know, for the City of Hopkinsville. This is Cody Knopfsinger. He's the controller for Hopkinsville Electric System. But we've been cosplaying, for lack of a better word, for several months now as the co-chairs of what is the largest private fundraiser in this area, the United Way of the Pennyrile and the 2023-24 campaign. We have been making the rounds, making sure that we create that awareness, make sure that people understand the significance of this fundraiser, why it is so vital. And I'm not sure we could have had a better teeing up than what we just heard from our friends at the Salvation Army. The work that Lindsay and Alicia do that we get to watch firsthand every day is incredible. But some of the things that Chris just mentioned in his presentation and things that could be potential partnerships between the city and the Salvation Army is a big reason why we're here. The Salvation Army is one of 18 partner agencies that receive allocations from the United Way of the Pennyrile. Since 1946, this organization here locally has been conducting annual campaigns. Back then, it was a modest $26,000 that they set as their goal and reached. We have a bigger one this year that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But we want to make sure we came here tonight to express the importance of this fundraiser, of what it does, of what your donations truly do. We believe that there is no better bang for your buck when you think about your philanthropic efforts than giving to the United Way of the Pennyrile. Giving one time, you essentially affect 18 partner agencies that are doing such great work. In your packets or on your screens, you're going to have a flyer that my brother Elwood's going to go over with you here in just a moment. And I think if you just look at what 2022 itself brought to the table in terms of what these donations do, how they impact people, our folks that are down the street, our neighbors, people that are in this room tonight are probably affected in one way or another by what the United Way of the Pennyrile provides. So again, when you leave here tonight, we just hope that you think about, again, the significance of this fundraiser, what it means to this community, the amount of people that it touches, the volunteers who oftentimes make up the services that are provided. These two are just two of many at the Salvation Army who make it work. And without those people, we couldn't move this community forward. So without further ado, my brother Elwood Blues will give you an update on what those donations mean to the United Way of the Pennyrile.
So my brother Jake's getting a little soft as we've been going through this. He didn't tell our tagline for this year. We are on a mission. For those of you who know that Jake and Elwood are on a mission from God, but we're on a mission from Todd, Trigg, Caldwell, and Christian counties. These 18 partner agencies do serve the 4-county region that the United Way of the Pennyrile serves. However, about 70% of those donations come right back here in Christian County. As of last year, last year's campaign, $468,000 was given back to the 18 partner agencies to help serve our community. I know we're preaching to the choir here at the city, and y'all are all here with servant hearts, that you know that we are a community of needs. But this community always steps up and values our citizens. And I think that you can measure the strength of community by how much a community gives, whether that's monetarily or through their time and efforts. And Hopkinsville and Christian County and the region at large is every year at the top of one of the most giving communities within the state of Kentucky. You know, of that $468,000, $100,000, a little bit approximately, give or take a few $1,000s, was actually given back to 5 agencies that are agencies of the city. And I know that you are no stranger to them. I know you go through a very deep budgeting process with those agencies and see what they need. But just to kind of give you an impact, and I guess I'll say first and foremost, I want to appreciate and give our heartfelt thank you to the city for actually supporting these agencies. We all know that budgets are hard. I'm a controller. I'm an accountant. I know how it is every single year. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. For the city to still find ways to support these agencies shows a real commitment to public service. But of that $100,000, these 5 agencies, it gave the ability for the Imagination Library to give out monthly books to over 3,000 children inside of our community. Of that $100,000, 73 individuals were able to receive specialized tutoring by the Dyslexia Association, and over 300 disadvantaged youth participated in academic success program, as well as mentorship programs and after-school care at the Boys and Girls Club. And also through PACS, the PACS Retired Senior and Visitors Program provided over 30,000 hours to nonprofits, which keeps volunteers active and healthy as they're reaching the later years of their life. And also, in addition to that, PACS Meals on Wheels program hand-delivered hot meals daily to almost 1,200 seniors. The impact is absolutely amazing when you think about it in that regard. This year, we have a goal of $700,000 to raise for this total campaign. This is a little bit more than last year, and the truth of the matter is that in the last 5 years, the United Way of the Penny Rise campaign has decreased by 16%. So we come to you tonight to ask for your help to help us get to the goal, to help us meet our mission, because if we can do so, just like how vital the city's contribution to these agencies are, our contributions as a community through the United Way of the Penny Rise can help make their budgets even larger, and it can help kind of take some of the pressure off of the taxpayers. So we hope that you guys will help us get there to reach that goal. As I said, this is one of the most giving communities in the Commonwealth, and we know we can do it, but we will need your help. And you can help us in 3 ways. You can raise awareness. It takes no monetary support to do that. Just talk about what the United Way of the Penny Rise does, how it serves our community, how it supports our citizens. You can do that. That helps get the word out and gives us the opportunity to reach more people and hopefully raise our donation campaign totals. Or second, you can give a donation individually, or you can give a corporate donation through your place of business. And then third, through your place of business, you can support an employee campaign. There's also employee payroll deduction. It's a great way to get your team members together, have some camaraderie, do some team building, and help support your community and continue to be public servants. And with that being said, I do want to thank the city wholeheartedly, from Jake and Elwood and I, for this year sponsoring another employee campaign. Through the employees, through the city, the amount of funds raised equals close to 10% of the whole entire campaign. That shows how vital it is that you as a council, you as a mayor, and all of our department heads here at the city, by supporting and asking their employees to take part in this, it's absolutely vital for us to get to where we need to be. And we thank you for, again, doing that this year. The city of Hopkinsville has been a fantastic partner with the United Way of Penny Rise, for we haven't even found the date yet. It's been decades, a very, 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 very long time. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to come this evening and share with you. We would appreciate your support as a city, as a community, as citizens, as well as a council, and as well as the employees here at the city and the mayor. We thank you. If you guys have any questions for us, feel free to ask. We're only a moment's notice away. And we thank you for giving us your time this evening.
Any questions for Jake and Elwood?
All right, back to our mission. Thank you.
All righty. Moving on to item 9, approval of minutes. We'll move into that right on October the 17th, 2023, regular meeting. Need approval of minutes on that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All righty. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving right along. October the 19th, 2023, special call meeting. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Amy and Jamie, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Moving into item 10, ordinances. We got 6 of those tonight. We're going to be here a few minutes. Item A, ordinance 40-2023, Princeton Road rezoning, first reading. Ms. Brittany.
Amending the zoning maps of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, 2.27 acres of property located on Princeton Road. Whereas Community and Development Services made a favorable recommendation at their September 25th, 2023 meeting for City Council to approve rezoning application R23-9-1. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan. The existing classification is inappropriate and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the rezoning. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. Pursuant to KRS 100.211, City of Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances and Community and Development Services recommendation dated September 25th, 2023, approximately 2.27 acres of property located on Princeton Road, as further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, is hereby rezoned from R2 Single Family Residential District to B2 General Business District. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
Motion.
Second.
We got Mr. Marsh and Miss Amy. All right, any discussion? All right. Call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy, Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lomberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Kill.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All righty. On item B, ordinance 41-2023, mass prohibiting on first reading.
An ordinance amending Chapter 130.05 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances relating to masks prohibited. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, Section 130.05 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances hereby amended as follows. 130.05, masks prohibited, wearing hoods or masks. For the purpose of this section, the following definition shall apply unless the context clearly indicates or requires a different meaning. Public place, a place to which the public or a substantial group of persons has access and includes, but is not limited to highways, transportation facilities, schools, places of amusements, parks, places of business, playgrounds and hallways, lobbies, and other portions of apartment houses and hotels not constituting rooms or apartments designed for actual residence. No person shall, while wearing any hood, mask, or device whereby any portion of the face is hidden or covered so as to conceal the identity of the wearer, enter, be, or appear in any public place within the City of Hopkinsville. The following are exempted from the provisions of Division B above. 1, any person under 12 years of age. 2, any person using masks in theatrical productions, including use in Mardi Gras celebrations and masquerade balls. 3, any person lawfully engaged in trades or employment or any sporting activity where a mask or facial covering is worn for the purpose of ensuring the physical safety and physical protection of the wearer or because the nature of the occupation, trade, professional, or sporting activity. 4, any person wearing a gas mask in drills, exercises, or emergencies. And 5, any person wearing a mask for health or medical reasons, including but not limited to during a public health emergency for which masks are required or recommended. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, any and all ordinances inconsistent with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
All right.
So moved.
Second.
I've got Steve and Bruce. All righty. Any discussion? Seeing none, I call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy,
Abstain.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lomberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All righty. Item C, ordinance 42-2023, FY 23-24 operational budget amendment, first reading.
Amending the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky annual budget and the employee classification and compensation plan for fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Summary. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. By summary, Section 1 of Ordinance 34-2023, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30, 2024 is amended as follows. Revenue, general fund, $47,380,696. Municipal road aid, $683,722. Prior year, $2,292,052. Total revenues, $50,356,470. Expenses, general fund, $49,666,776. Municipal road aid fund, $683,722. Total expenses, $50,350,498. Surplus, $5,972. Section 2. Section 2 of Ordinance 15/2023 is amended to add Code Enforcement Officer 1 to pay grade 9, Code Enforcement Officer 2 to pay grade 10, and Code Enforcement Officer 3 to pay grade 11. The full text of this ordinance is on file in the office of the undersigned city clerk of the city of Hopkinsville at 715 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where it is available for public inspection between the hours of 8:00 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So moved.
Steve, Terry. All righty. Any discussion y'all would like to make? Seeing none, I call the clerk on, call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy, Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Kill.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All righty. Item D, ordinance 43-2023 FY 23-24 capital budget amendment, first reading.
Amending the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky annual capital equipment and property replacement budget for fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that Section 1 of Ordinance 35/2023 amending the fiscal year 2023-2024 capital equipment and property replacement budget is amended as follows. Transfer from general fund, $1,790,099. Transfer from general fund wins additional insurance premium, $132,685. Transfer from general fund police department, $173,909. Insurance proceeds, $13,107. Prior year capital equipment reserve, $1,686,606. Total capital revenues, $3,796,406. Expenses, administration, $70,000. Information technology, $70,000. Police, $1,038,622. Fire, $1,225,000. Fire prevention, $155,000. City maintenance, $470,000. Parks and recreation, $140,000. Sportsplex, $75,000. Buildings and properties, $550,000. Total capital expenses, $3,793,622. Surplus deficit, $2,784. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is for any reason held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, any and all existing ordinances inconsistent with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
So moved.
Second.
I got Steve and Jamie there. Any discussion y'all like to have? Seeing none, I'll call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy, Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Kill.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All righty. Item E, ordinance 44-2023 Code Enforcement Board, first reading summary.
An ordinance amending certain sections of Chapter 33 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances relating to the Code of Ordinance Enforcement Board. Summary, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1 by summary, sections 33.184, 33.188, and 33.189 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances are amended as follows. 33.184, Organization of Board Meetings Quorum. Section 8H is amended to change a reference from Hopkinsville Christian County Planning Commission to Hopkinsville Fire Department. 33.188, Enforcement Proceedings. Section E and F are amended to change references from Hopkinsville Christian County Planning Commission to Hopkinsville Fire Department. 33.189, Hearing Notice, Final Order. Section B is amended to change a reference from Hopkinsville Christian County Planning Commission to Hopkinsville Fire Department. The full text of this ordinance is on file in the office of the undersigned city clerk of the City of Hopkinsville at 715 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where is it available for public inspection between the hours of 8:00 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So moved.
Second.
Bruce and Jamie. Any discussion?
Okay. Will it be the same code enforcement board members or it'll be a whole new board?
It's going to keep the same board members, yes, sir. Any other discussion? Okay. I call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy,
Abstain.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
and Councilmember Kill.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All right. Item F, ordinance 45-2023, Basic Property Maintenance Code, first reading summary.
An ordinance amending Chapter 163 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances relating to Basic Property Maintenance Code. Summary, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, by summary, Section 163.02 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances is amended as follows. 163.02, Building Official, is amended to change references from Hopkinsville Christian County Planning Commission to Hopkinsville Fire Department. The full text of this ordinance is on file in the office of the undersigned city clerk of the City of Hopkinsville at 715 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where it is available for public inspection between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So
So
moved.
moved.
I got Bruce and Jamie. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Handy,
Abstain.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
And that does pass on first reading.
All righty, we'll move into item 11, municipal orders.
Mayor, before we read this,
Yes.
just for clarification, we're going to add that the effective date on this municipal order is January 1, 2024. That's not on the draft that's in your packet, so just for clarification.
Okay. I call on the clerk to read municipal order 47-2023, citation officers.
Effective January 1st, 2024, pursuant to Section 33.196 of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Hopkinsville City Council hereby amends Municipal Order 24-2022 to appoint the attached list of citation officers who shall be authorized to enforce ordinances as designated.
All right.
So moved.
Second.
I got Amy and I have Travis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, we move along then. Municipal order item B, municipal order 48-2023, Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC incentives.
A municipal order establishing a downtown development incentive district, authorizing and directing the retention of up to 1/2 of all occupational license fees due and payable to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, from the salaries, wages, and other compensation to be paid to the new employees in said incentive district for a period of 10 years, and further authorizing and directing the retention of 80% of any increase in ad valorem taxes due and payable to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky on real property owned by Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC for a period of 10 years. Whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky is authorized to levy and impose an annual license fee upon all persons, associations, corporations, or other entities engaged in any occupation, trade, profession, or other activity in the city for the privilege of engaging in such occupation, trade, profession, or activity. And whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky is authorized to levy and impose ad valorem taxes on all real property located within the city. And whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky approved a downtown development incentive policy on September 4th, 2018, pursuant to Municipal Order 28-2018. And whereas Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC has proposed to develop and make improvements to office property located at 1002 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And whereas company estimates an investment of $2,075,000 in said development. Whereas said development will promote economic development, will provide much-needed downtown office property in Hopkinsville, Christian County, and will provide additional revenue to the city through the collection of occupational license fees and ad valorem tax revenue. And whereas an incentive to support Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC in development, the city hereby agrees to authorize Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC and or as it signs to retain through a rebate 50% of the total occupational license fee revenues otherwise derived by the city from salaries, wages, and other compensation paid to new employees in the development district for a period of 10 years after commencement. And whereas as an additional incentive and an inducement for Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC and or its assigned it's assigned to develop the property and create jobs in Hopkinsville, the city hereby agrees to authorize the developer and or is assigned to retain through a rebate 80% of any increase in ad valorem tax revenue otherwise derived by the city from any increased assessment of the real property owned by developer located within the district for a period of 10 years after commencement. And whereas the development of the property increases the net profits and occupational license fee revenues and enhances overall economic prosperity in the community. Now therefore be it ordained as follows. There is hereby established for the purpose of calculating and rebating occupational license fees a downtown development incentive district hereinafter referred to as 1002 South Virginia Street. The City Council of Hopkinsville, Kentucky hereby authorizes a rebate of 50% of the occupational license fees imposed and levied on wages, salaries, or other compensation paid in the incentive district to new employees and newly created positions for a period of 10 years from the commencement of said rebates. Said rebates shall be paid to Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC and or its assigns. And the City Council of Hopkinsville further states that the occupational license fee rebates referenced above shall not apply to any employees transferring from existing positions located within the City of Hopkinsville, and the retention and rebate of occupational license fees authorized and directed herein shall not apply to other income nor net profits of Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC or other entities within the incentive district, and only applies to occupational license fees on wages, salaries, and other compensation paid to new employees in newly created positions in said district. The City of Hopkinsville further authorizes Phoenix Property Group of WKY LLC and or its assigns to retain through a rebate 80% of any increase in ad valorem tax revenue otherwise derived by the city resulting from any increased assessment after January 1, 2023 of any real property owned by developer and located within the incentive district for a period of 10 years.
So moved.
I have one more
One
pair.
more line.
Sorry.
Hold on.
That was it.
The City of Hopkinsville further states that the retention and rebate of ad valorem taxes and or occupational license fees is authorized and directed herein shall commence upon written notification from developer to activate said incentives within 12 months of the execution of this municipal order and shall not apply in the event developer fails to develop within the incentive district within 24 months of the execution of this municipal order, fails to comply with local, state, or federal laws, or otherwise fails to comply with terms hereof.
There you go. Now.
All right, I have Don, and then I have Mr. Meeks. All righty. Any discussion we'd like to talk about?
Can you just refresh my memory? This is 40 new jobs downtown Hopkinsville in the
Yes.
healthcare sector?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, right over here at the old First City Bank
City
building
Bank. Okay.
on Virginia Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Orbs Event Center.
What?
Orbs.
Forbes building now, but it's old First City Bank to me.
Better give them their due diligence.
There you go. Don't worry, Mr. Francis will let me know. All righty. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, we move on to item 11, executive orders. You got your breath there? Okay, item A, executive order 54-2023, Hopkinsville Christian County Airport Board.
Effective December 1st, 2023, Thomas Grant and Clifford C.J. Doherty shall be reappointed to the Hopkinsville Christian County Airport Board. These terms shall expire November 30th, 2027. And we do need a motion in a second.
So
All right, got Amy and Jamie. All righty, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Executive Order 55-2023, Historic Provision Commission.
Effective December 1st, 2023, Diane Turner shall be reappointed to the Historic Preservation Commission. This term shall expire November 30th, 2027. And there's no action necessary on this one.
So moved. Second.
We don't need any.
Don't need no action.
No action. Good practice for the next one, though.
There we go. Don't run off with that. All righty. Executive Order 56-2023, Future Funding Committee announced.
Is this a commission?
Whereas the Future Funding Committee was originally established in 2019 and has made recommendations to City Council with regard to funding and budgetary issues. And whereas the Future Funding Committee expired June 30th, 2023. And whereas the Mayor and City Council may from time to time need to refer a specific issue to the Future Funding Committee for consideration. Now therefore be it ordered that the Future Funding Review Committee is hereby reestablished and tasked with reviewing, evaluating, and making recommendations to City Council for future funding sources to include modifications to current sources of funds, and to also make recommendations to City Council of the best and most beneficial use of special funding allocations received from federal, state sources, and to consider and make recommendations with regard to any additional item referred to said committee. Future Funding Review Committee members shall be as follows: Councilmember Amy Craig, Chair; Councilmember Jason Bell; Councilmember Chuck Crabtree; Councilmember Natasha Sophia Francis; Councilmember Steve Kill; Councilmember Robert Terry Meek; Councilmember Bruce Smiley. The Future Funding Review Committee shall be staffed by the City Administrator and Chief Financial Officer and shall expire June 30th, 2024, unless reestablished by subsequent executive order. And we do need a motion to second.
So moved.
Got Jamie and Travis. All those, any discussion about this before we move on? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. We move to item 13, other. Do we have any other comments that council would like to talk about tonight? All righty, we move into council member comments. Any council member have anything they'd like to talk about?
I would just like to have a shout out to, earlier this week, I had a voter in my ward had an issue from 7-8 months ago, but I just want to shout out to the attorney, the public works, Dave Herndon, Mike Perry, that stepped up. Magistrate Maggie Ferguson stepped up, and we've solved a problem for a resident here in town, and I just want to say thank you.
Okay. All righty. Any other council members have something to say? All righty, we're going to move over to item 15. Let me turn the page. Adjournment, Matthew Hamby.
All right, thank
Go
you.
over to you, sir.
Sir, thank you. So, in the words of the late Congressman John Lewis, education is the cornerstone of democracy. Education gives us the skills and the know-how to build a better community. Informed and engaged citizens hold the power through their vote and through their actions to make our community better for all. Hopkinsville is made better each time one of us sees something that is not right, not fair, not just, and has the courage to stand up, to speak up, and to find a way to get in the way. All of us have a moral obligation, a mission, and a mandate to do our part. Each of us must play a role to help redeem the very fabric and the soul of our community, to help create a beloved Hopkinsville and a community where no one is left out or left behind. I implore each of you, my fellow council members, to continue to govern with civility, also transparency, and to allow the spirit of love, peace, and above all, justice to be our guide. I make the motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second by Travis? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.